What is up guys, James Neville-Taylor here and welcome to today's video. Thanks for being here. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification to keep updated on any of my new videos. And today I want to talk to you about the power of taking action and consistent action, because you never know what's going to come from a small action each day. You might think that the most insignificant action is not going to make anything happen, it's not going to create anything, but you never know what's going to happen from just a small, a little action. So the importance of consistent daily action every day, I think, is so important because it allows you to push yourself out of your comfort zone. I think that's a really big part of growth, is taking action every day and keeping consistent with what you do. For example, when I first spoke on stage in Italy last year, it was my first time. I was really nervous, really nervous. And then the second time I got a little bit better. And then the third time and the fourth time within the space of a couple of months. And by the time I did the fourth one, I was a lot better. I wasn't great, I wasn't awesome, but I was a lot better and a lot more confident. And then it was 3 or 4 months after that I spoke on stage again at the UK Everest event. And when I first got on the stage, I was really nervous again. So I was stuttery, I was forgetting things, and it was a lot harder than the last one that I did. And that was because I didn't speak on stage for like 3 or 4 months. So it's important to be consistent, to like put yourself out there, do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone each day, do something that scares you every day, to keep growing and keep evolving. It's kind of like use it or lose it. If it's not like riding a bike, you ride a bike, you know how to ride a bike, you can get on 10 years later. When it comes to growth, and especially speaking on camera, speaking on stage, it's something that you've got to do every day to develop yourself, to develop those skill sets and keep those skill sets, you know. So that's one of the things I wanted to touch on, and just the importance of consistent daily action. And the second thing is, you never know what's going to come from a small little action each day. So what you might think to be completely tiny and insignificant may turn out to be really huge in the end. And I'll give you a really good example here, with a really massive guy who just came into Builderall, Dave Sharp. This is a really powerful example of how tiny little actions can culminate into something really huge. So a couple of months ago, I was looking into one of Legendary Marketer's high ticket packages, and I reached out to one of their advisors and was speaking to Matt, and we were going through talking about the high ticket package and talking about how it can help. And just a couple of times we reached out to each other and spoke about a few things, and I actually spoke to Eric about it in Italy when he invited me out. And there's just so many little things. If I hadn't gone with Eric that day on the train and spoke to him about this wouldn't be happening. If I hadn't reached out to Matt about the high ticket package, it wouldn't be happening. If I hadn't followed up a couple of times with Matt, it wouldn't be happening. So there's so many things that could have stopped this from happening, just tiny little things. One of at least 10 different things that I can think of, which if they hadn't have happened, we wouldn't be here today with Dave being the new sales director of Builderall. So just tiny little actions like that, you don't realise, are culminating into a really big thing. So I'm really super excited about that, super excited Dave's on board. And if I just look back on it and think, if that tiny little thing hadn't happened, if that tiny little thing hadn't happened, if that tiny thing hadn't happened, then we wouldn't be here today. So yeah, I think that's really important, to do the little things and do the what seem like insignificant things, to get the big result at the end. So now Dave is the official sales director for Builderall. So that small little thing, just being invited to go out with Eric and his family and talking about that on the train, has developed into something that is potentially multi-million dollar deal for Builderall. So it's just a tiny little action like that. You never know what's going to come from just the simplest little action. So have you ever heard the expression, the more I train and the more I do, the luckier I get? So that's what I believe as well. The more you do, the more you're out there, the more you're doing stuff and being out there in the world, the luckier you're going to get, because the more you do, the more opportunity that you have. So I think that's a really powerful example how something absolutely huge came from just a tiny little coincidental meeting. So yeah, the importance of consistent daily action and the importance of doing as much as you can, because you never know what is going to snowball out of the tiniest little action. So that's all I've got for you today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, hit the subscribe button, and tune in again for another video. Thanks, guys. See you next time.